Howdy folks, Fishing with Dom here, and today I'm going to share with you my personal testimony behind what is arguably one of the greatest hard baits and especially jerk baits of all time. It doesn't matter if you're from the native Great Lakes region where I am, whether you're from the Pacific Northwest or down in the southern area of the United States, whether if you're a bass fisherman or salmon fisherman or professional walleye angler, you've probably heard of this lure, and you definitely probably have caught fish with it. Now, without further introduction, I present to you a staple in my tackle box, especially in colder water, the Rapala Husky Jerk. Now, this is very similar to the Rapala original floater. It has the same, almost identical swimming pattern, veering left to right. The only thing about the Husky Jerk, when it's reeled down to depth, it doesn't float back up, it suspends. So in colder water, when you're casting, and you might need to give the fish a little bit of extra time to take your presentation, you can give it a quick little pause. But if those fish are really, really active, you know, some days you can keep this bait moving along and give it subtle pauses so the fish has the opportunity to strike. Some days you'll reel it down nice and slow and let it sit for 10 seconds. There's no wrong way to fish a Husky Jerk. That's the point I'm trying to get to. These work no matter where you are. I've caught salmon, pike, I've hooked in a muskie with it. I did not land that muskie, unfortunately. Bass, walleye, salmon, pike, muskie, you name it, this catches fish any time of year. There are 3 different types of Husky Jerk available. There's the standard, there's the original. These start at a little under $6 a piece. Very, very affordable, especially for a Rapala hard bait. There are also the deeper diving models available. This is the size 10 of the two. And this dives anywhere between 7 and 11 feet, while the larger ones dive between 8 and 19. The third type of Husky Jerk that Rapala produces is the down deep jointed. It's a little bit smaller than the down deep Husky Jerk 10, and it's jointed, gives the tail a little bit more flash and wiggle to it. I haven't personally given it a shot, but I definitely need to in the future. I'm surprised I haven't, but the Husky Jerk is excellent. I fish this size 8. This weighs about 3/8 of an ounce. It's 4 inches long. Got a nice little rattle to it. 2 VMC hooks. These are super sharp. And this catches walleye for me, especially in the rivers. Whether it be February, early March, May, or even late October. Because I can cast this bait into super shallow water, let it drift, let it suspend a little bit, and I can bring this lure right in front of where the walleyes are going to be sitting in front of their hole, giving them an opportunity to strike this bait. This bait alone has caught, oh goodness, dozens of walleyes and many, many bass out of my home lake. Immediately on my lake earlier this year, I live on a large private lake in the thumb of Michigan. The day after the ice broke out, I was out there with jerk baits, and hand over fist, I was getting into bass. And I wasn't playing around with it either. I wasn't using the smaller sizes like a lot of Bassmaster Elite Series anglers do. I wasn't afraid to throw the Husky Jerk size 14. Now these only dive between 4 to 8 foot down, and in the springtime when those bass are hunkered down in the warmest water on the lake, that's the depth you're looking for. If you find the right location, throw them a large enough bait offering, and you get it to them in a way they can get to it, whether it be a long pause or short pause and go, this lure will catch fish no matter what time of year it is. Oftentimes I fish with the largest size 14, the one size smaller, the 12 if I need to go just a little bit smaller in some situations, and the 8. Excellent bait. All of these sizes work. Here are just a couple of my personal favorite colors. For the Down Deep series, I have this blue silver. This has caught plenty of fish for me out on Michigan's Saginaw Bay. Now, this is one of my pride and joys. This is the clown, but this is the glass series clown. I don't think they make this anymore, so I'm very careful when I fish with it. The pink clown in the glass series, this I think they still make this. I'm not 100% sure, but if you can tell, this treble hook right here is nice and bent, because I've caught some monster smallmouth with this lure on Lake St. Clair a couple of years ago. A lot of nice pike with it, a lot of silver bass. Works very, very well, especially when trolling. I remember trolling this a lot when I was a kid. The bill's all scuffed up, but it caught fish for me. And I've never been one for bright colored lures when I was younger, especially Lake St. Clair is super, super clear. But this hammered fish. It was very, very efficient for me. And as I said earlier, springtime walleyes, the smaller Husky Jerk, 4 inches long. I was able to cast it wherever I needed to, work shallower areas. The smaller models, the smaller 2 models of the original Husky Jerks, dive anywhere between 4 and 6 foot. So if you're fishing with a smaller one, it's going to work a little bit better in shallow water. The larger ones will dive just a hair deeper, down to the 8-foot marker. Smaller one works very well for me. Now, the larger ones, I'm just going to go through the colors here. This is a glass minnow. Got a little bit of a reflective piece on the backside in there. Nice rattle. This caught a lot of largemouth for me this year. Glass perch, always one of my favorite go-to colors to have tied on earlier in the year. In stained water, especially several years ago, I recall throwing this clown Husky Jerk, and my first 3 casts of 2013, I caught 3 largemouth bass. I don't know if that's really good luck or really bad luck, but I remember that being a good year of fishing. So we're going to call it as good luck. This bait has caught me many, many large and smallmouth bass. This is a real popular color when trolling on Lake Erie for walleyes. The Tennessee shad. I've caught a lot of bass with it. I've seen it in the down deep versions. I fished this lure with Mark Martin quite a bit. Professional walleye angler Mark Martin, mind you. I caught a lot of fish with it. Tennessee shad, this green. It's got this orange color to the top, or to the bottom, and then this darker tint towards the top. Very, very flashy, very reflective. This is another great color to settle with. Now this is a glass Helsinki color that Rapala produced. Got a darker, more opaque blue surface to the top, but it still has a reflective tape in the center of it. Caught a couple fish with this one. Now this is a color I just picked up recently, but I haven't had a chance to fish with it or really catch fish with it yet. This UV Glow Tiger. Let me see if, oh, there we go, I can focus a little bit better. UV Glow Tiger. Bright pink, got white undersides. Fish can see this lure very, very well underwater, but I don't think my camera can real quick, probably because I got a light right above me. Pretty much a pink fire tiger that glows really, really bright in low conditions. Haven't caught a fish with it yet, but I'm definitely going to make that change now that I think of it. But this has been probably the #1 producer of all of my fish caught on jerk baits within the past 3 years. The gold. I couldn't tell you why. We don't have gold shiners in my lake. We don't have anything that resembles gold. But this lure stuck out, and I was catching pike, largemouth bass, one after another in 6 foot of water earlier this year. And there were still floating ice chunks out on the main lake, but I was up in a shallow lagoon. I was up in the channels, casting this out there, reeling it down slowly, giving it a pause, and fish would come in and nip at it, and I was able just to sock it to them. Excellent lure. Whether it be the jointed down deep Husky Jerks that I haven't fished with, I bet they'd be awesome if they're anything like these two. The regular down deep Husky Jerks or the standard Husky Jerk. If you go out, spend a couple of dollars for these baits, you're going to be more than pleased with them. You're probably going to go back to the store and buy another 15 of them. I have about 10 sitting in front of me right now, and looking into my tackle box, I've got probably pushing 20, because these are baits you can use anywhere, any time of the year, for any species. And there's no wrong way to fish with them, because they suspend in super cold water. You can give it that pause, or if it's the middle of the summer and you want to play keep away, get some of the most aggressive strikes of the year, go for it. Just reel as if it's a normal crankbait. Husky Jerks are awesome. They're a huge staple in my tackle box, especially during the colder water months and in river situations. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Otherwise, if you have any comments or video suggestions, please let me know. I am on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Fishing with Dom. I hope you have a splendid day and enjoy your next fishing adventure. Take care. Bye-bye.